Welcome to the Military Transition Academy podcast by Vets to PM. Today, we are going to talk about a funding source that we just secured for military spouses. And I am joined by my colleague, Carson. Our ultimate goal is to train our veterans, at no cost to them or with as little cost as possible. So I'd love for you to tell our audience what you're doing for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, my name's Carson and I'm the growth and compliance manager with Vets PM. As you said, fairly new to the team, started back towards the end of February. My background really is in workforce development and dealing with government regulations and agencies. I've worked in the legal field, worked in aerospace compliance, and then I've worked in workforce development, like I said. So I have a pretty good understanding of how all these different organizations work. MyCAA was a recent funding source that was approved. MyCAA stands for My Career Advancement. Put on a military one source, paid for by the Department of Defense, and pretty much not all spouses are eligible, but they've expanded recently to where most of them are. It's E1 through E9 spouses, O1 through O3, and then warrant first class through warrant third class spouses are all eligible for the program. So with my CAA, you have $4,000 total to use. However, you can only use $2,000 of that per fiscal year.
And is every service eligible, or are there just specific services?
So unfortunately, the only branch that doesn't qualify right now is Coast Guard. I know there's some talks and works in place to get them eligible, but currently Coast Guard is not eligible to use my CAA.
And if you are a Coast Guard spouse, please talk to, your base representatives. There's a lot of different programs out there for Coast Guard family members. And so we're not stopping. We're trying to find funding for everyone. All right, Carson, why don't you tell us which programs are eligible for MyCAA right now through Vets to PM?
Yeah, so our PMP boot camps are eligible online and in person. The only difference there is the online one includes the testing fee for the PMP. The in-person one doesn't due to funding restraints. All of our CompTIA courses are approved, so A plus, Net plus, Sec plus, and then the APHR. Any of our online courses, so the PMP, the CompTIAs, APHR, include the exam fee with the tuition. So in that individual training plan that I mentioned that we'll submit to you to upload, it'll include a checkbox for includes exam voucher. So once you attend to the course, take everything, get the contact hours, you then come back to us and say, hey, I want to take this exam, and we'll sign you up for it, and it won't be any extra money out of pocket on your end. So that's one thing that really kind of sets us apart from some of the other training providers out there.
Yeah, because we want to train you, we want to certify you because that's going to help you translate well so you can transition well, because most military spouses transition every time that their spouse, PCSs or deploys, whatever it may be, right? Our military spouses are having to leave careers or stop their careers because they are supporting the military service member, but now it's time to truly support you. And so that's what the Vets to PM MyCAA funding resource does.
And one good thing too about a lot of these certifications, specifically the CompTIAs, PNP2, really A and APHR, is that they all help support remote positions. Which, as military spouses probably know that getting a remote job is kind of the golden goose of the spouse world, being able to move around with your spouse and not have to abruptly stop your career and just continue on like nothing happened is really what a lot of spouses want. So a lot of these certifications really help not guarantee you that job by any means, but it helps you make more desirable in the applicant pool for remote positions.
Yeah, and just like what we tell veterans all the time, it's all about stacking the deck, right? So this is one other way that military spouses who are professionals can stack the deck, right? And so you're certifying that you have this project management skill set, or you have this IT cyber skill set or HR skill set. And also the APHR is really beneficial if you're going into supervisory or management positions, because it's all about learning labor laws and how to manage and lead human resources, right? And especially human resources in the civilian sector, because I've realized quickly that it's very different. There are things we can do and things that we can't do, and the APHR gives you that knowledge base so you can supervise and manage effectively. About MyCAA, it's obviously my career advancement. And so you mentioned it, and let's expand on that a little bit. So when it comes to project management, for military spouses, a lot of military spouses are out there, they're professionals and they're holding down the home when, maybe their spouse deploys or whatever it may be. And project management is a skill set. So a lot of people, think that, well, I don't want to be a project manager. Well, if you are a professional, then most likely you are managing projects. And so it's a function, it's a skill set, it's a role, and it's a responsibility. And so when you apply for funding for the project management certifications, you are applying for the Bootcamp Plus program, the exam prep, and that is going to advance your career. So let's first talk about Vets to PM. So Carson, we just celebrated 10 years in 2025. And so we've served 18,000 veterans. We were founded by a veteran. And honestly, most of our staff are veterans or spouses of veterans or daughters of veterans. And so we speak your language. So when it comes to utilizing our programs, we speak your language. We took our uniform off, but we never, forget a brother or a sister in arms. And also, we know what your transferable skills are, whether you are active duty or you are a spouse of a military service member. So we can help you translate that transferable skill set for whatever industry you are interested in. And along with our courses, we don't just get you certified, which obviously is a big part of the program. So we're going to provide you the exam prep curriculum, the study plan, all of the exam taking techniques, right? But we're also going to prepare you for the workforce. And so that includes resume training, interview training, LinkedIn training, and then job placement assistance, and really access to our network of industry mentors. So the first thing that they need to do is go into our website, right, and express interest in utilizing MyCAA as a funding, resource. What do they do from there, Carson?
After that, you should get an automated email once you express your interest, and it'll walk you through step by step kind of what to do. One of the first things you'll need to do is create a MyCAA profile. And then after that, you'll need to connect with a SECO counselor. SECO stands for Spouse Education and Career Opportunities. It's basically just someone that's going to walk you through what you want to do, right? They're going to talk to you and make sure that one, this aligns with your career goals. Two, they're approved, which we are. And then three, when does the classes start? Once you have that conversation with your counselor, they'll then either approve you or deny you to take one of our classes. Once you get that approval, you'll then reach back out to us, and we'll provide you with an individual training plan that will just walk through what class you're taking, how much it costs, duration, all that fun stuff. Once you get that, you upload it to your portal, you get approved for funding, you're going to take a class.
Yeah, and then once funding is secured, now you have lifetime access to our, boot camps, as far as if you take virtual boot camps, and then you have lifetime access to the job board. And so we can assist you with job placement, and you have lifetime access to all of the resources. And so our founder is very adamant when he says it's not about just earning the certification, but it's making sure that that certification, you're receiving some sort of ROI for that, right? For your time, energy, and money, invested into the program. So when it comes to MyCAA, there's lots of different options out there. But again, our program will cover project management certifications, the PMP, and then APHR and those CompTIA courses. And so just go to our website and fill out the interest form.